Podcast Show with your host, Shemaiah on the Beat, aka SOTB. Here, we talk to entrepreneurs, music artists, and public figures to help you develop a mindset for success. And now, your host, SOTB.
Hey, this is Keep Grinding Mindset for Success. We are here once again with another fresh episode for y'all today. We are talking to a music artist. She goes by Madelyn Victoria, and man, we're going to be talking about all music that she's doing. A lot of good stuff, man. She has a lot of videos out there, music, songs, you name it. I just want to welcome Victoria to the show. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Definitely, man. So, man, before we get too deep into the conversation, tell the audience a little bit about Madelyn and how did you get involved in music?
Yeah, for sure. So, man, I've been involved around music my whole life, basically since I was born. I know a lot of people say that, but, man, I was born to, and people always ask, why do I sing country? Because, that's what I do. I sing country music. And I don't know, I guess because my obstetrician had George Strait playing in the operating room. I always like to blame it on that. But, no, it's ever since I was a little girl, I've just had this knack and this love for singing and performing. It just came very naturally to me. A lot of people just didn't understand how I was never nervous or I wanted to be on the stage and just have fun. And to me, it was just, I thought everyone loved to do it. And then, growing up, it's like, wow, this is different. This is a completely different, career choice than a lot of other people. So, man, my first performance, I was about 5 years old. And from there, it just started to grow. I learned the national anthem. I played in my church, performed in my church when I was a young teenager. Then I put together my first band in high school. And ever since then, I've been booking myself and managing myself all over Texas, traveling with my band, doing acoustic shows, doing solo acts, anything that I can get my hands on and really promote my career and get out there, and ever since then too, I've also been studying music business for about a couple years now, trying to get more serious about my career. And yeah, I'm just also within all that, of course, I'm a songwriter, and that's the main core of what I do, and where everything else comes together is my songwriting. And if there isn't anything for the song, then there wouldn't be anything else, I believe. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
And that's what's up. So when it comes to you always working, on your music career, by the way, y'all can go Madelyn-Victoria.com for more of her cool stuff and stay up to date. But when you got serious in the music business, because it's one thing to love music, and it's another thing when it's actually turned into a business for yourself. What was some of the learning curves you had to adjust to for starting out business-wise?
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. So like when you said, love in the business, you have to always remember when you start realizing that that's, this music is a business, and it takes money and knowing the right people and all that. And before all that, you always have to keep the love of it at your core. I just, want to make sure the audience knows that if anybody's out there trying to, also get into that same path, because sometimes it can get really tough. People out there, they're sharks, they're out there to get you, and you just got to keep that love strong, your faith strong. And I'm just thankful I have my family that's always been there for me, supporting me. A lot of people don't have that, but I've seen other people who just, as long as you continue the grind and keep on going. But I put together shows and everything. Experience you learn every single time. Every experience you get, you learn, and you have to know that when you're going into something. You can't just think, oh, I know it all, or this is what I'm doing. Or even now, at the point where I'm still studying and I'm majoring in music business at a university, I still don't know it all, and I'm going to continue learning. And it's always a learning experience and opportunity. And for example, whenever I put on my first concert, I know what routes to take my money and what not to spend, and what to save and where to go and who to hire and how to work it all out. And it's just different things, little things like that, and that you have to write down and make sure you remember for the next time and the next round. And once you really accomplish and once you really conquer, this ideal, and at the end of the day, it's working as your own record label. Once you know that model, that business model, you just have it on repeat and you make it bigger and bigger and bigger every time. And that's what I've learned, as I'm going through this and I'm learning for my career and keeping that love there as well.
And speaking of concerts, earlier this month, you was at Strawberry Festival in Petite, Texas. And if I have it correct, yesterday, you was at an event in San Antonio. And
Yes.
that's my neck of the woods. So 2-0, go Spurs, go.
Oh.
So you have
Awesome.
yeah. So you have an upcoming event in May, and you're coming back to San Antonio. So
Yes.
that's pretty dope. What is it that you like the most when the crowd gets involved while you're performing?
And so I've I played all kinds of big events, big concerts where I'm the opening act for a bigger name. I play acoustic free shows, different competitions, and it's always a different vibe, but you learn from it, and I always take something from it. And my favorite has to be my favorite type of performances have to be the as an opening act for a bigger act, when you go on tour with somebody and you're you're the opening act, and that's my favorite kind of that's the whole goal of what I want to do, and then eventually be that headliner. But man, when the crowd and the energy is going, I just have such a great time, and it's a combination of the crowd and also my live band. I love playing with my band, and hearing them perform with me makes me love it more. It makes me want to perform more. And they're the ones that keep me going as well on stage. And I'm knowing that I'm not alone in this. We're all performing together, and then getting the crowd involved. And just them, everybody loves applauses, but, you could tell when they're into it. You could tell when they're in a song. And not only that, it's after the shows. It's after the shows where people come up to you and they tell you, I love that song, and it's my original, it's like my own song. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. So I must be doing something right. I must be writing, must be writing for a reason. And people that message me on social media afterwards too. And it's the aftermath that's really cool when you get the feedback. During the show, it's awesome and it's energetic, and I'm with my band and you're connecting with the crowd and you feel that, the energy. But then afterwards, it's like, whoa, okay, what's the feedback? What do I got to do, different this time? Or what do I got to keep on doing? And that feedback, that positive feedback is what keeps me going, and what keeps me writing for everyone and for us to all relate, in song.
So this event coming on May 26th, tell us a little bit about that. What is going on in San Antonio?
Yeah, it's American Hero Relay, 25K relay. And it's going to be a lot of people there. I believe, I'm not sure the location again, because I know my people put that up. But last year it was at a university. I played at that last year. And now this year they called me back again. And it's going to be in San Antonio. I know that the location is on my website, Madelyn-Victoria.com, the exact location, in San Antonio. And we'll be performing, my brother and I will be performing for all the runners, all the people there supporting the runners. There'll be free food. There'll be places for people to sit, to enjoy the show, to support the runners, for all these veterans that are actually going to be running. And all this profits goes to this organization. And shout out to Mr. Jesse Martinez for putting it all together for these runners every year. He puts on a great relay and pays tribute to our men and women who have fought for our country and, and our freedom. So I'm excited to be at that event. Those are my favorite types of events where I could pay tribute to, our veterans and our active military, active duty, and remembering those who we've lost as well.
I was just because the thing is, San Antonio, military city, that's what it's all about, So, yeah, definitely big shout out to everyone who served. Now, when you see how things have been moving, because when we first started the show, you were talking about you was basically coming to this world and the doctor was playing country. So, you had it since you were right there, boom, since the beginning of your time. What is it about country music that just puts you in your zone?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love all kinds of music, man. I love I listen to course, country and rock and hip hop and subgenres of those, like, from back in the day, like roots. Like, I love jazz, I love R&B, I love classic rock, I love southern rock, I love anything with any kind of vibes that have that fusion, that experimental stuff that people like to put together, and you never know what you can come up with. And I love to listen to new country as well. But as an artist, that's me as a listener, I can listen to anything and dig it. But as an artist, I just it's just so natural. I can't explain it. It's the simplicity of it, the simplicity of a story, of true, authentic, story and what we're going through. And it's just so easy to, not that it's easy, it's for me, it's easy to relate in that sense. And it's a lifestyle for me as well. I mean, I love being on a back road. I love, the country. I love outdoor activities. I love, all of that. I want to ranch one day. I love to fish. I love to hunt with my family, and just having a simple life. Taking life as it is, but also keeping it balanced with that simplicity, and appreciating the hardworking people, all over the world. And I feel like country music can do that, and there's something about a real simple song that we can all relate to, and with words that are meaningful as well. And I feel like, nowadays, everyone always talks about how we've lost that, maybe in all genres of mainstream music. And, maybe, we'll come back around with some more authentic music coming out on mainstream. But, as for now, I'm going to keep pushing with my own style, with my own roots in country. And I just hope people, start to listen to it a lot more. And people listening to it now can download it and see, and let me know what they think what y'all think when you download my music.
Well, I already know San Antonio's going to give this a fair shot, because that's how San Antonio rolls. There's a lot of country fans in San Antonio. Don't let everyone fool you. They like their little hip hop and R&B, but there's a sweet spot. I mean, Texas, come on, like, you can't go wrong. As long as you're anywhere in Texas, you're good. So definitely, the location that you're going to be at in May is Comanche Park, and that is 2600 Rigsby Avenue, San Antonio, Texas. If you need a zip code, that's 78222. It's going to be Sunday, 7 a.m., so you can get there just before you need to go to a late church service, if you go to church or whatever. But we'll push this on. I have another podcast, Iron Refocus Podcast, so you're going to have a double jeopardy. Get both. I'm going to get you and keep grinding in on that, because there's a lot of people in San Antonio that when they hear about music, they're really going to show out. So Madelyn, Victoria, you're going to have some fans in San Antonio. That's for sure.
Awesome. Thanks.
And speaking of Texas, man, you are a Texas native. So where in Texas?
Yes, for sure. So my hometown is San Benito, Texas, way down south. People, they think, oh, San Antonio, South Texas, and that's cool. Yeah, it's south, but man, where I'm from, it's 4 hours even more down south.
Oh, wow. So
yeah, we're right by the border. And growing up with a Tex-Mex kind of culture, I was born here. I'm fourth generation American, and I love all culture, and just that people always ask, like, what are you? And I jokingly say, but I mean it at the same time. I'm like, I'm a Texan, I'm in Spanish, I'll say I'm a Tejana. And I love where I grew up, my family, back home, that's where our roots are. And that's where all my family, we moved all over the U.S. We all just come together there. And for reunions or just family get-togethers, birthdays, weddings, whatever, we always make sure we have it down there where our roots are, where our grandparents planted our roots. And it's one of my favorite places to be. And, there's South Padre Islands right there. I love to go fishing out there with my family. Bonfires on the beach. It's always a good time. And I do avoid it on spring break, though. It gets a little crazy. We're in the spring break mode right now, but I'm like, man, it gets real crazy. But I love South Padre. It's about 30-minute drive from my house, or my parents' house. So, but yeah, that's where I grew up. It's a hometown of Freddie Fender. I don't know if your listeners listen to more, country. Like, it's a classic country singer that made it in Nashville from my hometown, and they painted his face on the water tower back home. And people are always like, okay, when you make it, you're gonna be right there next to Freddie on that water tower, hometown of Madelyn, Victoria, or whatever. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that'll be my goal.
Well, shoot, you pulling numbers on social media. I mean, one of your videos on YouTube has over 100,000K. That's your Johnny Cash, one of the songs you did as a cover. Mm-hmm. When it comes to social media and marketing, I know you have a team, obviously, but what do you do as an artist to brand yourself? Like, what tips can you give to up-and-coming artists out there?
Yeah, for sure. You just got to be yourself. You know, you gotta represent that, even if it's online, because people can still see through that. You know, you got to be yourself. You got to, you know, not just post like, you know, people can tell it's like, oh, it's somebody else. There's just, you know, a computer, and it's just, you know, that people want to talk to you. People want to get on your level. You want to get on each other's level. You want to understand and relate to each other. So as much as I can, you know, I can get real busy. We're all real busy with our lives. And sometimes social media can take up a big part of it. And sometimes it's too much in our lives. But when you turn that into a positive thing, and as being artists, that's a part of our job. So that's a big part of our job that we have to be. And we have to be, you know, that person that everyone can relate to. And that's what I give advice. You know, I'll be posting stuff about, you know, my family events on Instagram, or like snapping, you know, what we're doing. And then I'll be at a show, you know, like, come out, you know, I want to meet you guys. Cause it's true. It's an authentic thing that I have, where I want to meet as many people as I can. I don't just want to, okay, numbers. I want to grow my numbers. Those are people. Those numbers are people. And I want to make sure I can get to, you know each and one of those people, because just like me, I'm a fan too. I'm a fan of my favorite artists, and I would love to relate with them, and I would love to talk to them, and I would love to, you know, have a show with them, and, you know, write a song with them. So I feel like, you know, that's the way our fans are. That's the way our friends are. So that's what we got to do. We just got to be down to earth, always, you know, always be down to earth, always be humble, and always try to connect on a personal level with as many people as you can.
And speaking of all that, you got new music right now.
Yes.
Tell us what's hot on the stove right now.
Nice, yeah. I just released a new single called Right Here With You, and been getting some good feedback on it on Spotify. We have about 11,000 monthly listeners, and we're trying to grow those, I say numbers, but we're trying to grow those streams from people even more. And it's about to hit 50,000 streams on that song Right Here With You. And I'm super excited because my last single that went number one on these different radio stations is barely hitting like 30,000. And I'm like, wow, this, you know, just gets bigger and better every time. If that's another thing in the long run, at the end, and the whole point of what we do, you just can't give up. And like you say, you just got to keep on grinding and keep on going, because the people that make it are the ones that don't give up. And that's what my whole goal is. And but with Right Here With You, we have a music video as well on YouTube. Those views are growing as well. So I appreciate everybody who's been watching it and who's been streaming. So yeah, I'm excited for, you know, your listeners to listen to this new one that I have out. It's really a song about love and just paying tribute to that love, you know, and really recognizing all the hard times that you can go through with your significant other, but you're still right there with that person. You know, you don't give up on each other. So that's pretty much where I wrote that song. And I hope people enjoy it. I actually have new music, also even more new music in the works right now that we're still cooking. It's still in the oven. So we don't know exactly. I don't have exactly a release date yet. We're getting all, you know how it goes with the business stuff on the back end. But as far as all the songs go, they're all there. All my songs have been written and done, and we're just getting into the into the studio to record this, my first full-length album. So y'all be on the lookout for that once you look me up, and there'll be more music to come.
So you pretty much just warming up for the summer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because summer, it gets hot in Texas. So I guess you're just getting prepared for the hotness in Texas.
Always.
You know what's crazy is I wasn't even planning on making this a bonus show for Iron Refocus podcast, but just a quick little plug that podcast, Iron Refocus podcast, been around a little bit longer than Keep Grinding, and we're in about 11, 12, 13 countries worldwide. So I'm sure it's not just going to be San Antonio locals that's going to be happy about your music. It's going to be a lot of folk happy, because music is powerful. Music is an art, and the creative minds like you I dabble in music myself, but people like you who are actually on stage and you see faces, new faces, all the time. What is it that you think your listeners get the most when they hear you?
Oh man, I hope. Well, that's man. I mean, I'll say my true honest, answer, and that's, my talent. It doesn't come from me. It comes in my belief. It came from the Lord, and He gave me this talent, and I just hope people see that. And a lot of people come up to me and they're like, "There's just something about you," and I'm like, "Oh, I know what that is." That's something from the Lord that gave me that I don't personally, take credit for, and He gave it to me, and I just thank Him for that, and I hope everyone, and that's the whole, my whole point too is being who I am. I always want to be myself, who He created, who He gave me this talent, and I say talent because I don't like to sound cocky or anything like that, but it's just something I love to do, and I want to share that and just let people know that it came from Him, and from my songs too, like all these songs, whether I was born with it, whether I get these inspirations right on the spot, whether it's from an inspiration that I'm walking down the street or I'm traveling, going to show, and I get this moment, this divine moment of these words that I'm like, whoa, like where did that come from? Start writing it down. So whether I got it, once I was, born, or it comes, at divine moments, it's all Him. So I just give credit to Him, and I hope people can take that from what I do.
Well, that's the Texas way. Go big or go home. Most people in Texas got a big heart, so that's what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so before, you know what they say, time goes by fast when you're having fun. And I feel like I said 2 words and it's already 20 minutes. I don't even know how that happened. But what's crazy is, like I said, going back to being the creative mind in music. Music, you have the power to make something out of nothing. You basically have a blank canvas and you fill up that space with sound that people can connect to. And you talked about a little bit about, where you want people to connect to when they hear you, the artist. When it's all said and done, when you never stop as far as your career goes, you know what I'm saying? Because music never dies. But when it's all said and done, what is it that you want to leave behind?
I want to leave my music. I want to leave my songs. I want to leave my creativity. I want to leave my legacy of what I did. And number one would be, my songs, because that's my passion, that's my love. And then, number 2 would be the fact that I never gave up, and the fact that, I kept going. And I want everyone else to do that with their own dreams and see what I paved, see what I did on this road. And I want people to know that they can do it too. And it's possible for anyone. It's just the other side of fear that is beautiful. Like the you look at fear first, right in the face. It's like, whoa, the ugliest thing ever. But you got to get past that, because nothing's going to happen to you. Nothing bad's going to happen to you once you get over the other side of fear, and it's going to be beautiful and it's going to be worth it. And so that's what I want to share that with everyone. I want to leave that behind, at the end of the day. And you just can't ever give up. You got to keep going every single day, because, this is why we're here. We're here to work. We're here to keep going, keep moving. Of course, I love to relax. I love to have my relaxing days, but it's all a part of it. It's all a good balance that I have, and I hope people can take that from me.
Boom. That's it, man. I'm not touching it. I have nothing else to add to that statement or statements because you said it perfect. There's not much I need to add to that except just cue not the credits, but I guess the landing of the plane. Let's have a smooth landing. Before I do my final little statement, how can people stay connected to you?
The easiest way would be finding my website, and then from there hitting up my social media. So, going to my website, Madelyn-Victoria.com. If people get confused with that, all you got to do is Google, my name as well, Madelyn Victoria, and my website is the first thing that pops up. then my YouTube and my social media. So really, I mean, if you just search my name, everything on there, I mean, I'm glad to connect with everyone through any kind of platform. And I'm always, every day, I'm trying to stay connected with everyone. That's, like I said, that's part of the job, but it's what I love to do. So it's not something that bothers me. So if y'all want to message me or, you know, whatever, let me know what you think about my music. I'd really appreciate it. And looking forward to it, guys.
Well, there you have it. Once again, she is going to be here in San Antonio, May 26th, and that is going to be at 2600 Rixby Avenue, San Antonio, Texas, 7 a.m. on Sunday. So y'all can't miss that. Once again, you go to a website. If you get lost for some reason and you just forget everything I just said, that's okay. You can do two things. Either start this podcast over, or if you just want to do it now, go Madelyn-Victoria.com. She has all her information. Just go on the shows tab, and there you go. You won't be lost. So once again, thanks for being here on the show. It's a bonus show, not just Keep Grinding podcast, but I'm also going to put you on I Am Refocus as well. One thing that we always say on I Am Refocus is keep God first, stay focused, and peace. But on Keep Grinding, this is how we do it. This is my favorite part because it's more than that last statement. Mm-hmm. Keep grinding every show. Every single show at the end. It's this statement. Every day is a grind. Only you can do it. No one can force you. It's all up to you. Your life is your blank canvas. What you do is the action. What is also is the paint that you leave, your mark on history. So with that said, keep grinding, keep pushing, because even if you hit rock bottom, the best next thing you can do is look up. That's what I say on every show. And with that said, man, me and Madelyn are out.